Hello guys, it's Chamaster doing another Beyblade unboxing. This time we have another 2-pack with Sword Dran and Tackle Goat. I will be using Takatomi style names for the rest of the video though, because that's just what I'm used to, but should probably at least start the video with the correct names. Here's the back as well. But anyway, let's go and get this thing open. Alright, I have everything out of the box now, so we'll start off with the red DranSword since it's both a recolor and also just something I've already opened since this is from the entry set, which I opened almost 2 years ago at this point, but yeah. First up we do have a red flat, just basic attack bit, extra burst resistance, nothing really new here, it just exists. We also have 360. Just kind of a nice red all around. Pretty basic, but does look very, very cool. And lastly, we got DranSword. Got the black translucent plastic underneath, and of course the red translucent gear chip with the sticker as well. Definitely a very nice looking recolor. Because this was part of a stadium set, if you don't have it, which I'm sure a lot of people don't, definitely a good recolor to have, I think. Moving on to GoatTackle's parts, we have a white needle, which works, I guess. I do have some thoughts on this one, but yeah, it's just a basic defense bit. It exists. We also have 260. This thing looks really nice, I gotta say. I like the orange here, and I like that the outside's transparent. Usually it's the other way around, so this is very, very cool looking, I think. The orange in the combo is definitely going to be questionable, but just independently in a vacuum, this orange actually looks really cool. And for the blade, GoatTackle, it is unfortunately opaque plastic in blue here. Never really a fan of opaque plastic, but yeah, anyway. Also have this like highlighter yellow gear chip, which is a choice. Definitely looking forward to the Takatomi version of this thing, because I don't really like this color scheme very much. The blade design itself looks nice. I like the kind of almost horns here. They did a good job on modeling the blade for sure. I just don't like the color scheme they chose for it, unfortunately. Oh, and by the way, this is actually a BlackShell retool, in case you didn't realize, so I will do a comparison to that a little bit later. Alright, let's go ahead and do the part weights. First up, we got DranSword, so we got flat with 2.21 grams, 360, 6.29 grams, and of course DranSword itself at 34.69 grams. And for the full combo here, 43.16 grams, so pretty solid. For GoatTackle, we have needle at 2 grams, 260 at 6.37 grams, and of course the blade GoatTackle, 31.62 grams, comparing that to BlackShell, 32.7 grams. Unfortunately, that is a definite downgrade. And for the overall weight of GoatTackle, 39.97. Never great when the full combo doesn't even breach 40 grams. But that's that for the weights. Also, before moving on, here is a quick comparison of BlackShell and GoatTackle. Definitely see the similarities here, and especially if you flip it over. The plastic is very much the same, so there's that. From a top-down view, though, they almost just look like completely different blades, but if you look at the overall shape, there's just enough BlackShell inspiration there to tie them together, so pretty interesting. Moving on to the full combos here, we'll start off with the red DranSword. Looks like this, DranSword 360 flat, red version. You can use these parts for Phoenix Feather, which Hasbro still hasn't released, but if you have a Phoenix Feather blade, definitely a combo you could use here, so Yeah, pretty nice overall again. I already talked about this bay, but it is definitely a worthwhile recolor, I do think. And for GoatTackle, putting this thing together. We have GoatTackle 270 needle. If I've been saying 260, I really hope I've been saying 270, not 260. I'm not sure. I'll click back in the recording. But yeah, here it is. Definitely a design choice, but... Alright, let's go ahead and just talk a little bit about GoatTackle, because it is, you know, the new bay here, but... Overall, aesthetically, I'm gonna give this thing a 4 out of 10. It's not ideal, not the worst thing ever. I think from a top-down view, it doesn't look that bad. I'm not big on opaque plastic, but I don't think it looks horrendous here at the very least. It's at least okay. Generally prefer translucent plastic somewhere, at least like the gear chip, but there isn't any here, but it's not bad. And again, I really like the blade's actual design a lot. I think they did a good job working the goat motif into the actual metal. But it gets a lot worse when you actually flip this thing over. What happened here? So you can see the blue, you can see the white bit, which I'm not sure I agree with, but it's not bad. I actually really like the transparent parts on the outside. That actually looks kind of cool, but the orange I don't think was a good decision here. Probably should have done something a bit more thematically consistent. I don't really like how Hasbro does a lot of these color schemes where there's always at least just one random color that just does not work. And this time, yeah, I think the orange is that. Generally, I like orange a lot, but yeah, not here. It's an interesting bay, but just not ideal aesthetically, I don't think. And conceptually, I'm gonna just give this thing a 5 out of 10. It's fine. It's just kind of uninspired. BlackShell was a defense bay. Unfortunately, GoatTackle is also a defense bay. I like when they kind of use blades in new ways. You definitely could have made an attack-oriented BlackShell variant for sure. At the very least, they did use the 70 height, which is good. BlackShell is known for being a very low-profile defense type, so it's at least kind of new, and I also like that it's two sides. Pairs fine with the blade, but also when I think of a goat, I think of horns, and I guess you can kind of think of the two sides as like goat horns. That might be a bit of a stretch, but it's something at least. Needle was not a good choice. I might have given this thing a bit of a higher score if the defense bit was a bit more interesting, but Needle's just a basic one. It's different than Dot. It's at least a different combo than BlackShell, and again, because of, you know, it's taller as well. It's definitely a different idea, but I don't think it's unique enough either. But it's still just kind of okay. It works. But overall, this is definitely a decent 2-pack, I would say. Nothing crazy, but nothing, like, bad. Definitely a good way to get the red drawn sword if you're interested in that. That's just going to stay like that, I guess. But good way to get the red drawn sword. Also could at least be Phoenix feather parts if you have a blade and don't have parts for it. GoatTackle's fine. It's not a variant that I think is overly interesting, but it looks nice. However, we do know we're getting a Tackle version pretty soon, probably in October. That might be tied to a set, well, to see, but I do think it looks a lot better. But hey, if you just want the blade, this is definitely a much cheaper way to get it, assuming that isn't a set, so it's definitely a decent 2-pack to pick up, just not my overall favorite. But anyway, that's all to say on it, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.